that must be told of a promise in the Magna Carta, written brave and old. 800 years of trials by peers, the cornerstone we trust. Now they want to...
So here we are, David Lammy, star of Mastermind.
What was the married name of the scientists Marie and Pierre who won the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1903 for their research into radiation?
Antoinette.
Curie.
A newly crowned Justice Secretary and Deputy Prime Minister. How has he managed that? Some would say he's a racist imbecile. Personally, I wouldn't say that. I would say he's an anti-white imbecile.
Which variety of blue English cheese traditionally accompanies port?
Leicester.
Stilton.
After the mockery made in the post of Foreign Secretary, I suppose there was only one place he could go, Deputy Prime Minister. And he's in charge of justice. And in that role he decided to modernise the justice system by taking the justice out of it. He arrogantly swaggers into the Commons like he's the bloke doing the ref shield at a Sunday League match, cracking his knuckles and saying, "Right lads, enough of this democracy lark. From now on, judges will decide your guilt or innocence, not a jury of ordinary people, because apparently the backlog of 80,000 court cases is more terrifying than stripping away one of the oldest checks we have on state power." Remember when he was in opposition and he said scrapping juries would be anti-democratic? I think it was in 2017. How getting into government changes people, eh? Funny how quickly convictions stop mattering when you get handed the gavel. He says scrapping jury trials will speed things up. Yeah, well, so will switching off a life support system, but I wouldn't recommend it. He trots out that old chestnut of "we need swift justice." But this isn't victory for victims, it's the state pissing on centuries of legal tradition because it can't be asked to fund the courts properly. Instead of fixing underfunding, understaffing or structural neglect, he says, let's concentrate power, fewer juries, more bench trials, efficiency above all. That's not justice. That's management speak for we don't give a damn about fairness as long as the paperwork stacks get smaller and we can use that to get a few votes in the next election. These people are absolute scum. And I'm not just talking about Labour, I'm talking about the Tories, the Lib Dems, the Greens, SNP, the lot of them. And for those who still believe in the dusty common sense justice of the Magna Carta, judgment by one's equals or by the law of the land, he's just told you to piss off. What could go wrong? Pretty much everything. Cut out the jury and you cut the public out of the process. Judges alone, appointed, unelected, will now weigh guilt and innocence on some of the biggest decisions a person can face. Bias, institutional inertia, lack of context, all the old school warnings, the very safeguards that once protected working class folks, minorities, activists, gone in the name of legal speed. Legal experts have warned this will disproportionately impact those already disadvantaged. Of course it will, because those who are advantaged will never probably see the inside of a courtroom, not unless they're sacrificed by their public school buddies. And what about the cases where the jury actually saved someone? Imagine you're accused of some speech crime, hate speech, a non-crime hate incident, or something vaguely defined. Under the old system, a jury of 12 regular people, flawed but human and unpredictable, might see the nuance and say, nah, he's not racist, he's just having a rant. Under Lammy's regime, a lone judge, by day 3, scribbling down guilty because it's easier than wrestling with a nuance. That kind of chilling effect doesn't just threaten hate speech, it threatens anyone the state has a grudge against. Let's be blunt. What's being done is authoritarian, not in the violent jackboots on your doorstep style, we'll leave that to the police, but in the quietly bureaucratic, we know best style. It's snatching away a fundamental trust mechanism. It's telling the public, we don't trust you to judge your neighbour, we just trust us. So to Lammy, with his usual smug, self-congratulatory, bold reforms, you're not saving justice, you're just putting it under lockdown. Why are people so blind? Why can't they see where all this is leading to? If you moan about not being able to afford your extortionate food bill anymore, your extortionate council tax bill, your extortionate utility bill, if you can't warm your house anymore, if you don't agree that we should be paying for undocumented men to be put up at our expense, if you don't agree with any of that, you can be arrested and you'll go to court and you won't have a jury. That's where this is going. And you can't see that? Probably too busy arguing over whether Labour, the Conservatives, Reform, the Greens or the Lib Dems are going to save you from what's coming. Yeah, you probably are in that state, because more and more people are waking up and realising that the only people that can save us is us. Let me know your thoughts. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video if you wouldn't mind. That apparently helps me. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye for now.
Oh, gather round, good people, for the tale that must be told of a promise in the Magna Carta, written brave and old. 800 years of trials by peers, the cornerstone we trust. Now they want to bend the jury box and swap it for, well, dust. Speed it up, that's the government's grand plan. But quicker isn't better when your liberty's at hand. You wouldn't turn off life support just to beat the traffic jam. So why scrap juries, why rush justice? Tell us, David Lammy, why, man? Now back in 2017, Dave spoke loud and strong. Taking juries from the people would be anti-democratic, wrong. But funny how the tune has changed as soon as he got crowned. Hypocrisy's the rhythm when you're running in the government's sound. 1 minute he's Magna Carta's knife, next minute he's saying, hey, it's fine. Turning coats is fast, I guess, but speeding isn't always best. Speed it up, efficiency's the fad, but justice done too quickly tends to turn out pretty bad. You wouldn't down your pint so fast, you spill it on your nan, so why rush trials? Why?